I'm at the bank making money, making moves. Machines with tools and drills, making grooves. Missions impossible. That's lotsable.
Welcome back to In the Green. You're with Nora Lee today. And today we've got two women, Kaitlyn Ho and Christine Kim, who've joined us today. How are you all?
I'm doing,
Good.
So you're down in Texas.
yeah, which recently had like that huge snowstorm and stuff.
I
But we're,
know. We were supposed to speak during the storms and you all didn't have Wi-Fi.
yeah, it was like a disaster with like all the coordinate, like we had to reschedule like so many times because of it.
And how's the weather now today?
It's pretty good. It's pretty hot now, and the weather is so weird in Texas. It goes from really cold and there's a snowstorm, and the next week it's super hot.
Right. No, I know. I'm hoping I can get down to Texas over the Easter break because I haven't been there for about a year and a half now. So it'll be nice to be back home. But so Christine and Kaitlyn, tell me a little bit about yourselves. You all are in Dallas.
Mhm. We actually, yeah, we live in like a suburb near Dallas. Um, and we both got like interested in investing around the same time. And a lot of it was because of Cash Club, this
Yes.
organization wanting to like help high schoolers get interested into financial literacy. And the founding branch is very near the high school we went to. So
Okay.
that's we kind of personally knew some of the founders and they reached out to us.
That's wonderful. No, and I know, and you all have set up your own organization for women.
Hmm. And I think Christine can elaborate a bit more on that.
Yeah, so WOW Cash Club is a chapter of Cash Club, and it's called Women of Wall Street, and it's specifically to raise the well, erase the basically the gender inequality and the gender gap that exists in the financial section. And we basically like to bring in guest speakers, and they can share their experiences as women in this field of business.
I think that's a wonderful initiative that you have. I know, when I was your age, because you're in high school still. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When I was your age, I didn't have anybody or, any of these sort of women type organizations helping us to think about finance or Wall Street. So it's a wonderful thing that you're doing, raising the awareness. And it's fantastic to have you on Investor as a place to, bring these women to play the markets and learn more about, potentially pursuing the financial field. So tell me what's your first experience been in the markets and how has that made you feel? Did you get started in March when things were collapsing or when did you get involved?
I actually, like one of the first times I ever started investing was in fourth grade. It was like this entire
Fourth
simulation.
grade.
Like this, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was in this sort of like program for like it was kind of like a social studies sort of program, but
Right.
they wanted us. It was like a competition. They grouped us into like groups of four, and it was like an entire fake market, kind of like how Investor was going on, but like not nothing like an app. It was just like a website, I think.
Right.
And I remember purely buying stocks, just like looking at the name and then deciding whether or not I should buy it. And then I remember buying
Based on
P&G.
brand recognition or
Also, I remember telling my group to buy like stocks in oil because I was like, I have a feeling it's just gonna go up. And it was like, I don't know, fourth grade me.
you were
That's the
using your hunches.
Yeah, but that was the first time I got like I was introduced to like the stock market, but after that I thought it was like really cool how you could um like earn money by like buying stocks and stuff, but after that project competition thing, I kind of forgot about it.
Right.
And then a few months ago, I was always aware of the Cash Club organization existing,
Right.
but I never really knew too much about what they were doing. I just thought they were a bunch of like finance geeks wanting like talking about stocks all day, and I never paid attention to
Yes.
their Instagram posts. But One of them reached out to me and was asking if like I would be interested in the Women in Wall Street initiative. And then I started like looking actually at their website, and I saw they had like recordings from past guest lectures they had, and then also just they have brochures or like information flyers about it, and I thought it was really cool, so I gave it a shot. And that's when I like around the same time I downloaded the app Investors.
Right. Oh, that's wonderful. And Christine, what about you? What was your path into the markets?
Well, for me personally, obviously, I wasn't exposed as early as Kaitlyn. In fourth grade, I had no idea what investing was at all. Maybe I had like 20 bucks in my wallet, but that's it.
Right.
And my first encounter with like the whole investing world was last year, actually. It was actually through social media platforms like TikTok, and I
Right.
got more interested in it and used free resources like YouTube, where YouTubers would share their experience in the investing world and just basically learning the basics of it. And then Kaitlyn introduced me to WOW Cash Club, which I knew about Cash Club beforehand, before she introduced me to WOW Initiative, but I never knew what exactly was happening there because all I knew was a bunch of guys would go there, and I had no idea that it was a whole like club to promote investing at a young age. And so I feel like the WOW initiative really helped me because I never would have joined this club that was full of guys just looking at their phones and investing if
Right.
it weren't for another chapter that promoted the women
Right.
initiative.
Catering to women and
Mhm.
making an impact. And so do you all compete with the Cash Club and the different monthly competitions that they have in the IFL, in the leagues on Investor?
Yeah, so most of the Women on Wall Street members are all joined on like the Cash Club competitions, but we also have a independent league. Well, it's not to be like exclusionary, but it's usually like mostly girls. But of course, like anyone is allowed to join.
Of course.
But for people who are more involved in the WOW initiative, there's a separate league where we try to compete against each other on Investor.
And do you notice that there's a different style that you have, or do you notice a significant difference in the returns between the women on Wall Street and the guys in the Cash Club?
I do have to say, at least from my standpoint, I think I'm less riskier. I feel like the guys, especially when Bitcoin and lots of cryptos were going like really high up in the beginning, like we like saw like a lot of guys like cashing in and just buying the stocks, but I was a lot more hesitant, and I saw like some of my peers were too. I think I would like to like stay with pretty consistent stocks versus like the really hot ones at the moment.
Right. And Christine, what about you? Did you see that the guys were getting more involved with the meme names and the women on Wall Street were not really getting as involved?
Yes, well, especially with the riskier stocks like Caitlin was saying, and even recently with GameStop, a lot of my friends, um, the guys they did invest in GameStop and took the risk, but um, I didn't, and my other friends did not because it was so risky. Um, I feel like there's definitely a big difference between like uh males and females, I guess, investing in the stock market, but I don't think it's that different. It's more just how much experience you have and how I guess how willing you are to kind of see where you can go. But I think taking a risk once in a while is pretty good because it gives you more experience. And even after losing money, you can still learn from that experience.
No, that's a very valid point. I know I've read in the past, different reports have been put out about the differences between males and females in their styles. And as you say, one thing that has been noted from some of the research is that men do tend to take more risk and there's something innate that's a fear of missing out. They want to be involved when things are moving, whereas what they found is that women tend to think about, well, the downside more, whereas guys are thinking about the upside and missing out on that. So it's interesting to see that you've noticed that as well between, the guys in the Cash Club and the women on Wall Street. So tell me, how many women do you have now involved with the WOW group?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That was just a notification on my laptop.
No problem.
But usually when we have guest speaker lectures, in the past we've had 30 or around 20 to 30 people join like consistently. However, we are always looking and branching out, and we're in like the middle of trying to think about new ways to reach out to more girls and other people interested in finance.
I think that's wonderful. And in terms of the friends that are active in WOW, are they all considering fields in finance, or are they thinking about, medicine or tech, engineering? What's the general interest?
Um, well, I guess WOW is pretty inclusive of all people. It's not like, oh, you have to be wanting to major in this field if you want to be in this club.
Right.
So a lot of my friends who aren't even interested in the business world, like they're more into the STEM fields and they want to become doctors or go into the medical field, they also are interested in the investing and the finance world, and they like to come to the guest speakers because they bring a lot of value to them, even if they're not going to major in that, because investing is something you can do even if you're not specifically into the finance major. Well, me personally, I thought I was going to go into the medical field, but now I want to become, excuse me, now I want to go into the business and marketing world because of WOW and learning about everyone's experience. So yeah, that's really changed for me.
Well, that's exciting. And as you say, investing is a way of life. It doesn't matter what you do, you should be learning about good investing habits, and preferably doing it at an early age, like you are, or even when you're in fourth grade, starting to put away your $20, Christine, that you had in your pocket, that Kaitlyn was already looking at the markets. Well, it's really, really wonderful what y'all are doing, and to see women sort of trailblazing and helping to inspire other women to come into the markets, because what you do see is primarily the people who are investing tends to be majority men. But
Mhm.
I think that trend is slowly changing, and more women are getting excited about the markets, which is fantastic. So you all keep up the great work, and it's wonderful to spread the word as well here on Invstr for other women who want to get involved with WOW. You can reach out to Christine and Kaitlyn on the app. And in terms of where you see the market going, I know there's been a lot of volatility the last week and a lot of inflation fears right now. What's your view towards the tech names and the crypto stocks that everybody's been chasing? What's your approach, given that you say you're a bit more conservative when it comes to taking risk?
Yeah, in my opinion, I know like tons of people are like Bitcoin is like continue to rise, and like all these like cryptos are rising. I still think I'm still a bit hesitant. I think you should definitely invest into it. Like you should incorporate it into your portfolio, but
Right.
definitely not like fully rely on cryptos because it is so volatile and like anything could happen. It's important to have like some blue chip stocks in your portfolio to keep it there. With tech stocks, well, I think with coronavirus, obviously, the market's been like super crazy because of it. But I do think since the vaccines are getting distributed more and more, in hopefully the future where the coronavirus is less of a threat, I read this one article, and it said that after like the Spanish flu epidemic,
Yes.
there was a roaring 20s, and there was
I
like
know.
really and then I'm very hopeful on this, but I hope the same thing happens with like COVID, and after that people are spending more, like overall just quality of life increases, and I hope it's going to be reflected into the markets too.
I think you're right. I read an article by a professor at Yale, and he was saying he was very pro this whole roaring 20s. The professor from Yale was saying that he believes we're going to have a huge boom and spending and roaring 20s. Even friends that I'm talking to, everybody wants to find any excuse to throw a big party. They want to make up for lost time, loads of holidays, go see family. So I think there is going to be a big boom. Although I must say, on a consumption side, I'm not necessarily big on buying things I don't need, like shoes or clothes. But in terms of experiences and traveling and seeing people, definitely I can see that.
Going out to restaurants and probably just walking in malls a lot more just to see the people.
Yeah, just be happy to sit outside like at a coffee shop and have a coffee and see people walk by and not be scared to walk without a mask. So I'm looking forward to those times. June 21st for us is what they're calling the new Independence Day over here in the UK, because that's the day when they say all the lockdown rules are going to be, in the past. We shall see, but we're looking forward to that. Well, and tell me, just as a last thought, what's been your best investment or your best month that you've had in the markets on the Invstr app?
Okay, for me, it was during January. I remember I know like I'm kind of saying like against like my advice that I just gave, but I did see like cryptos only rising, and I saw like my LinkedIn feed was cluttered with so many posts about like Bitcoin and everything. So I was like, well, this is Invstr, it's not real money. So just like as a fun game, I like started investing in like lots of different cryptos. I did like see like huge increase, and I ended up selling them. I ended up selling after like January or February-ish, like all my stocks, because I wanted a clean slate. I wanted to like start over in like my portfolio, and I'm still like deciding like what stocks I want to delve into now because I want to like try to be more strategic in what I buy now. But definitely January was one of the best months I had.
Well, that was a good call that you had. And Christine, you?
For me, the best stocks I've bought so far are Zoom. When quarantine was just starting and it was pretty low, I bought it right away, and it's pretty high right now. And also, I also took the risk in the whole cryptocurrency and bought Bitcoin and Zcash, and those are pretty high for me right now because I bought them when they were going pretty low. So yeah, those three are my top for now, and I still haven't sold them. They're still going right now.
Well, that's great. Just keep holding them.
Yeah.
Buy and hold. That's sort of my strategy. Simple strategy, but unless I'm massively wrong. Well, it's been wonderful, Kaitlyn and Christine, to have you here today. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and I hope to see WOW growing even more, and hopefully some of our, investor females will connect with you and help you grow the organization.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Norlie.
You're welcome. So this is In the Green with Norlie, bringing you real stories from investors.
Making money, making moves, machines with tools and drills.
This is Norlie. I'm not a financial advisor, and my comments should never be taken as financial advice. Remember, investments come with risk, so always do your research and analysis beforehand. Happy investing!